Hey, well, Dave here, Fix and Fly RC. It's been a little while since I've been able to do a video. Life as everybody knows. I had a couple projects that I've been working on that I haven't videoed yet. I've got to put some videos together and put them out. My B-1B bomber, I had to replace the fuselage on. Had a receiver that had a broken antenna. And it was my fault, but I failed to catch it. And so all the ground checks were working fine. I had done a range check earlier on when I first put it together, but I had done some stuff and accidentally broke the antenna and didn't recheck it, even though I took it up and all the ground checks worked. When I got it up, got a bunch of holds, lost control, and she came down. So I had to place the fuselage in that. So I got some videos on replacing that fuselage. She's back together. I've flown her once since then. So got that. So the kind of question I was thinking about is it's October now, almost November 2025. And, I would say flying season's never completely over, depending on where you live, of course. But here in North Alabama, where we fly, we'll get periods of good weather. It may be cold, but the winds may be good. So we'll go out and get some flights in when we can. But clearly, the late evening flights and the number of times you can go out is minimized. So the question is, of course, for me, what was going to be my winter project? What did I want to take on, over the winter? Hopefully, not having to put any more planes together. I'll get to that. So I got to thinking about, well, what would have been my winter project? Well, the impetus behind Fix and Fly RC is, hey, I've crashed a lot of airplanes for a lot of different reasons. And I just actually kind of enjoyed the challenge of putting planes back together sometimes that probably most people would just throw in the trash. And but it's fun, gives me stuff to do in the evenings. And so it's kind of why I've created this site where I find things that I can't find other videos on or something like that. But anyway, so what was my winter project? Well, I've had a little bit of a stretch of bad luck in the past couple months and had some good planes go down. And so the question is my winter project or projects going to be repairing these planes? So I have got my lovely extra 300 here. Hold on, got more pieces. Got more pieces here. And what happened here is I was up at the flying club where I fly some, and we had a little event going on, and this is a fun little plane to fly. It was a fun little plane to fly. And I was taking off and I was doing a set of barrel rolls coming right out of takeoff. I honestly don't know exactly what happened. As it completed its third barrel roll, it just like nosed down. I'm sure I hit the elevator or something like that. It had to be my fault. Just wasn't sure what I did. But she nosed in, and of course I was running a pretty good RPM on the takeoff, so she hit hard, and she's in pretty rough shape. I gotta be honest, I have fixed planes much worse than this. And there's a lot of good clean brakes. This is probably fixable. If I want to take it on, the wing spar is completely toast, so I'd have to dig that out. So this one is highly questionable whether I'm going to take this one on or not. Maybe just see if I can find a similar plane on eBay or Marketplace. Another one, completely pilot air. I bought this one off a friend of mine. It's my, got too much stuff in here. There we go. My E-Flight Viper, 70mm Viper. Another great fun plane to fly. As you kind of get into the hobby, you start, trying to do more things. And I was trying to do a high pass, low, high alpha, slow pass. And I guess I just, I stalled it because it was flying, it was flying like this, and it just started going over. And I tried to get out of it by getting under the throttle a little bit, but she was too close to the ground and hit pretty hard. Other than the fuselage, she's actually in not a horrible shape. So I think if I can find another fuselage somewhere, I may, piece this one back together. And just, all the electronics and stuff are good in it. So, but she's going to go off to the side for a little bit. Not sure. The one that probably hurt the most this year, and I just now brought it back in the house because I just couldn't bring it up here, was a project I took on. A friend of mine started this plane. The boss of Sea Fury. He had started the build. He had done the wings, got it covered. He had most of the fuselage built. I did the covering, got all the gears and the motors and all that put on. My first time trying to do any kind of cover or anything. So I spent quite a bit of time on this plane, and flew it a couple times, and then I was coming in for a landing, and I was not too far off the ground, and she just died, just no power. And one thing I found out about these balsa planes, unlike these foamies, they got no glide. And so she went down fairly hard. I had to fix the landing gear and a few things, but nothing major. And I got to checking out, and I found out the ESC had gone out in it. Now, I had done the watt meter test, and I had probably a 1.5 factor safety factor, and in this crash, well, I'll get to that. But so anyway, I went and bought a new ESC, and because the one I had used was the one I had at the house, so I went and bought a new one. Again, 1.5 safety factor. Over what I was getting out of the watt meter, and took off. I was flying. I actually had my timer set on 3 minutes because I was trying to figure out how much the battery, and I wanted to have some time to practice landing, because after I had repaired the gear, I had not even landed it yet, and was about 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes, and I told the guys, and never flew full throttle. As a matter of fact, it was probably always maybe had 3/4 throttle at takeoff, backed it off to a half, never got over a half during the flight. 2.5 minutes in, I said, hey, I'm going to bring it in for a landing. Had actually lowered the landing gear, but I was probably 40-50 feet off the ground, and again, just died. And of course, this time she hit pretty hard, and she's damaged more and beyond repair now. And but found out for whatever reason this ESC went out too. So I know you're saying, well, you got the wrong side ESC. I was flying an 80 amp ESC, and for a prop plane, and I was pulling like 40 at max throttle. When I did it, I think I was like 42, maybe 40 watts or something like that, and maybe 43, 44, so almost a factor of 2. So I'm not sure if something in the motor was pulling harder, because it was a motor off another plane, a V1200, I think maybe, that he had bought off somebody else that had crashed that plane. So maybe there was something in the motor. Maybe I should have run it for a longer period of time on the ground before I flew it. But anyway, so here we go. So I got unfortunately 3 things. This obviously could take up an entire winter project. However, I think I've got something else I want to work on. So for me, I am going to get rid of these, and voila, my winter project is going to be a F-16 E-flite 70mm F-16. I've had one of these before. This would be my second one. The first one died a fiery death. I had just landed it off a flight, and I had my first battery failure. Had a Spectrum 3200 battery in it. And as I had landed and I was turning around to taxi it back, white puff of smoke, and of course, you know, lithium ion batteries and foam. Plane's not gonna last very long. So she died a horrible death. And so this one has been sitting in the box probably for a year now, and I've been trying to decide, you know, what I wanted to do with it. I thought about, you know, maybe, you know, bumping the motor up to a 80 or 90 millimeter, still may. But what I wanted to do on this one, you know, I've been watching a lot of the videos from RC Geek on, you know, redoing foam planes, and I've done, you know, in the repairs, I've done some weathering on some. They, you know, that's clearly a skill you have to learn, you know, over time, but it takes practice. But what I'd like to do, I'm going to change the scheme on this plane to a Israeli Desert Camo. And so over the next little while, I'll be doing some videos, but, you know, removing all the graphics if I can, covering. There's a lot of you know, seams and stuff in here that I don't know how realistic, and I'll probably be filling all that out and then pencil lining those in like he does. And so what I'll be working on is just completely, you know, covering this plane, going through that process, and then doing a whole new paint scheme on it. And you know, I don't know how long it'll take it. You know, I'm not going to be in any hurry, so I'll work on a little at a time as I can. Try to, you know, I've done a lot. I've done similar stuff, but I've always been in a little bit of a hurry to get them back up. So the quality is always a little bit iffy. Hey, you know, up in the air, nobody knows. But that's going to be my winter project. This is what hopefully I'll be working on, assuming I don't crash any other planes that I got to fix. So anyway, hang in there with me. I hope, always would love to hear comments on things that you may do, or as the videos go, any suggestions of better ways to do it. For example, even just, you know, getting rid of the decals with foam. Is it better with a heat gun? Is it better just to go ahead and try to peel it up? So we'll kind of see how that goes. But I'll get back with you on the first, or I guess it'll be the second installment of my F-16 repaint into the Israeli Desert Camo camouflage. So until next time, happy flying with what little time you have. And every plane lands, just they don't always land like we want them to. So Dave here from Fix Fly RC out here. See you later.